My name's Mason Turner, and I just had an amazing 2 seasons with German club Schalke. Their manager Marcel Hoffmann built the entire team around me and turned me into an emerging superstar. But now the worst has happened. Schalke need money to fix their massive financial problems, and after my great season, I'm their best chance at getting a big sale. So this summer, I'm being forced out of the club that I now call home and away from the manager who made me. Now, where am I gonna go? Well, there is one massive team in need of a central midfielder right now, and that is Leicester City. They've been relegated to the championship and are in need of a huge rebuild. They've lost a ton of first-team players after the relegation and desperately need to replace them. This is a really exciting project. Graham Potter has actually just stepped in as their new head manager and is expected to bring them right back up to the Premier League next season. Leicester City drops cash on a bunch of new players and are building an entire new team. And now only one position remains, the central midfield spot, and the club actually has me as their top target right now. So negotiations begin as Graham Potter meets with Marcel Hoffmann for the most heartbreaking transfer talks of this career. The manager who believed in me since day one is being forced to make my sale away from Schalke, and eventually a deal gets worked out, and now it's official. I'm moving to go play in England. But it's a sad farewell as I leave the club that made me into a star, and also the manager who gave me my debut at Austin FC and brought out my true potential at Schalke. So now I'm gonna have a big new challenge here in England, but this time I'm gonna have to make it on my own. It's a $5.5 million transfer fee for me to go to Leicester, and that's a sign that a lot is expected of me. Now, can I live up to the growing expectations? Well, it might take time because I'm not expected to be a starter right away. In fact, as I kick off training here, it's clear it's going to be a big adjustment for me. England is one of the most physical countries in the world, and this team is really solid. My elegant passing style was great over at Schalke, but am I going to be able to show it here in the grueling 46-game championship season? Well, I'm going to get my first opportunity pretty quick because preseason is here, and me and the other new signings are going to get to start our first game to try to impress the new manager. So Graham Potter watches on to see who's going to impress in our first match. Now I'm coming off of the best season of my career so far. I was playing under a manager that fully trusted me, but now I'm starting from scratch, a new team and a new manager, and I have to show that my skills can translate. And one thing's clear, my passing, if I can pull it off, is always going to be deadly, and it catches the eye of the manager. And to be honest, it doesn't look like I've missed a beat so far. I'm creating the same kind of chances I did at Schalke, and honestly looking really good for the team so far. Leicester have yet to score, but I've probably been our most important player so far. And if anyone's gonna make the difference, it looks like that might be me. So with all the eyes on me in this first half, all it takes is one clever little touch in the box to set me up for the shot that's converted into the first goal of Leicester City's preseason. I have had an absolutely outstanding performance in my first game here at my new team, and things could not be going any better. It seems like I've caught the full attention of our new manager, and it's paying off as I play in the second match of preseason as well, and honestly, do just as good. I'm given the time and space to really express myself and my passing range fully, and I'm creating a ton of chances for this team. I've fit in seamlessly to this new system, and so far, it looks like I honestly could be one of our more important players if I keep performing at this level. And it's not just signs of promise, I'm actually delivering as I pick up my first assist of the season as well. Now sure, it's only preseason, and the intensity here might be a little bit lower than what we're actually going to be playing at, but regardless, I couldn't have done any better with the opportunities given to me. And as an unbelievable preseason comes to a wrap, I'm actually looking like I might have a spot in this team. A goal and 2 assists in only 2 games is really impressive, and I think people are excited to see more from me. But am I actually ready to start a game here in the championship? Well, it's opening day against Bristol City, and the lineups are released. It's a surprise to many, but I'm gonna be in the starting 11 for the first game of our season. This is a huge test. Leicester City begin our campaign on the way back up to the Premier League, and the pressure's on because as probably the best team in the division, any players not pulling their weight won't stand a chance in this team. And I'll be honest, I'm a bit nervous just a few minutes into the game here because it's clear the intensity is just so much higher than not only preseason, but what I got used to in Germany. The players here are super athletic and physical, and I'm having trouble finding any kind of space on the ball. And being one of the smaller and weaker players on the team, it's really exposing my weaknesses as I'm giving the ball away a lot here in the first half. So many things have changed since last season, the team and tactics that I'm used to playing for, but also The entire league here just feels different. It's just a lot more direct and intense, and it's really not allowing me to shine with the qualities that make me a good player. I'm giving it my all, but it's been incredibly disappointing. And as I give the ball away, it results in a counterattack that sees Bristol City open the scoring, and it's thanks to my mistake. This is not the start I would have hoped for after such a bright preseason. Am I going to be able to turn this around? It's just been such a surprising and eye-opening game for me as the first half closes with us a goal behind. And in the second half, the manager wastes absolutely no time in pulling me off. My debut has come to an end after a disappointing 45 minutes of football. The cold reality of this level has become clear. Only those players fit to lead this team to the top of the league and eventually the Premier League will be involved in the team, and right now, it's looking like I might not actually be at that level. And Leicester City have no shortage of talent, and the team quickly rallies in the second half to not only get back into the game, but eventually go on to win it with a flurry of goals that sees us off to a flying start in our first game of the season. The talk after the game is going to be about Leicester City's bright start to the season, but it was a nightmare performance for me personally. Was it a mistake to move here to England? Well, for all my good abilities, I have one major weakness, and it's my physicality. And I have some serious work to do if I want to be able to compete with the athletic players around me. So every day on the training ground, I'm just trying to get used to the intensity here. I'm still a great technical player, but when I don't have the speed or the strength to get the space needed to pull off good passes or good shots, I'm not really able to play my game. So for the time being, I'm not going to feature in the starting 11. As my teammates really make a push for the title here early in the season, it's clear Leicester City are probably favorites to go back up to the Premier League, so the competition in this team is no joke. In order to be a starter, you can't have any weaknesses in your game. But I don't have to worry just yet. I'm still a young player and I'm getting used to the team, and with the Carabao Cup up next, I will get another opportunity to show the manager what I can do in a cup match. And you'd better hope that this is the type of match I can make an impact in. I might still have some adjusting to do at the championship level, but if I can't shine against a Division 4 team, it might be over for me at Leicester City. However, even down here, the level in England is just so much more physical than what I'm used to. I'm getting knocked around, but the difference here is the space is so much more open for me, and this is the kind of system I thrive in, creating chances early in the match. And it's clear these are the kind of things the club has signed me for. It's the reason I did so well at Schalke, and with enough freedom to play my game, this is where I'm at my most deadly, and I score the opening goal of the game with a classic shot from distance. This is the kind of player that I can be. Maybe it's been a rough start to the season, but I definitely know I have the potential to be a difference maker in this squad. And when my lack of physicality isn't holding me back, I am simply a great player. I'm picking out passes that no one else on the pitch seems to see and getting the fans up out of their seats in what's been a really dominant performance from Leicester City. And I could cap it off with one more good contribution here at the end of the game. A chip over the goalkeeper and into the back of the net is all we need to seal the deal. Maybe it's not the toughest game we'll have all season, but that performance is a reminder I can still be an important player. Now I've shown I can pull off good performances in preseason or the Carabao Cup, but now I need to do it in the championship. But until I can be trusted to have consistent performances, I'm still gonna be on the bench in our league games. And the team honestly doesn't really need me at the moment. We're still clear title favorites, and honestly, I might have a hard time finding my way into a team that's already doing so well. But even the best teams at least need rotation players. I was signed as an important central midfielder for Leicester City, and they're at least gonna need me to give a rest to their other players who have been starting. So in games when we're up, I'm still making appearances. These are the chances that I need to make the most of. I'm trying my best to get used to the style of play here, but it's such a difficult adjustment for me. I feel like I'm a step short to every ball, and any kind of 50-50 automatically goes against me. In these league games, I'm still lost. Leicester City are fighting for the first place spot in the championship against Luton Town, who have been equally as good this season. And funny enough, Luton Town are our opponents in the next round of the Carabao Cup. I'm gonna be starting after my great performance in the last round, but this time it's gonna be much more difficult. Well, this is the ultimate test for me this season. It's clear I've lost my starting spot in the championship, But with a potential full 90 minutes here against a championship team in the cup, if I can have a good showing, maybe I can win a spot back in the league. But unfortunately, it's the same story. Against teams at this level, I'm not able to find the space that I need to succeed with my skill set. There's a couple glimpses as I play nice balls over the top. It's not like I've suddenly become a bad player, but when those chances are so few and far between, I'm definitely not looking like the good player that I was at a team like Schalke. I'm not the first player that's come to England and had a hard time adjusting, but it doesn't make it any less difficult for me. As I continue to make mistakes and give the ball away, I'm looking like a shadow of my former self, and it might cost the team as we eventually get knocked out of the Carabao Cup, and my chance at any meaningful involvement with this team is fading fast. Because as we get back to the championship, Leicester City are on a clear path to promotion as we continue to win games. For me to even find minutes as a rotation player in this team, something has to change. And thankfully, I'm playing for maybe the best team in the league right now, so just learning from my teammates in training might be all it takes for me to sort of get used to the style of play here. I mean, every single day in training, I'm playing against the best players in the league, and it's helping as I'm learning from them how to play a little more physical, but I need to do even more. Again, I'll never be the most athletic player in this team, but I can be the most hardworking. I'm staying late after training every day to work on my own fitness, running sprints to help my agility and trying to get my stamina up. If I can't be the fastest in the team, I can at least be the most fit. Progress is slow, but this is my new journey, and I am determined to make it here at Leicester. But change takes time, and I'm just gonna have to be patient and slowly grow as I get opportunities in this team. But for now, I'm cheering my teammates on from the sidelines as we still maintain our spot up at the top of the table and look to be favorites to go to the Premier League next season. And as the weeks go on, I'm slowly but surely seeing progress in things like my stamina, strength, and even aggression as I work towards being a player that can fit in at this level. Right now, we're undefeated in the league 16 games into the season, but we're taking on Luton Town, who are the only team to have beaten us this season in the Carabao Cup. And as expected, I'm still on the bench for a game like this. If I wasn't playing against some of the lesser teams, I'm surely not going to be playing against our promotion rivals. But we're given a twist as, for maybe the first time all season, we find ourselves in a losing position early in this game, and the players look to be a bit shell-shocked. Realistically, Leicester City are probably head and shoulders above most of the clubs in this division, but now that we're coming head-to-head with some of our peers, the games get a lot more difficult, and as we find ourselves needing a goal, things are not exactly looking great. As I watch on from the bench, it seems like our team could certainly use a helping hand from the bench to try to turn the tides a little bit before things get even worse. A decision needs to be made, and although I have not had a great season by any stretch, I'm still one of the players on the bench that the coach sees as being able to make an incisive pass or shot to change the course of a game. But what's been the case all season is I haven't been able to actually use those skills because I can't find the space on the pitch. But now that I've been training so hard and seeing signs of progress, can I finally start to find my footing here in the championship? Well, it's a bit of a rough start. Some misplaced passes and getting jostled around is not exactly what I'd be looking for, but maybe we're seeing some slight signs of progress. I'm finding just enough space to pick out passes, and that one almost results in a goal. That's not a bad opportunity at all. And surprisingly, I feel like I'm getting more time on the ball. Maybe it's my stamina and ability to just run around and find space, but as I'm running all over the pitch, I'm finding myself in some really good areas that I simply wasn't at the start of the season. And the more I can get involved all over the pitch, the better. I'm really good technically, and as long as I can pick out passes, I'm able to help my team. As I get involved with the link-up play from before the halfway line, I continue my run all the way down the pitch, and honestly could get on the end of it as I pick the ball up in the box and put it in the back of the net to bring Leicester City back level. I've made a huge impact off the bench, and that is all thanks to my hard work and training. It's a lung-bursting run all the way across the field for that one, but I'm able to just get a touch ahead of my defender for maybe the first time all season, and it's enough to score a goal. It's a game of fine margins at this level, and it seems like I've finally cracked the code. Well, my goal is enough to rescue a point for our team, and that is a huge deal as we stay top of the table. Not only that, we're still undefeated. This could actually be a record-breaking season. But there's a long way left to go, and let's not take anything for granted because slowly but surely, we're getting a little less consistent and starting to look more shaky than we did earlier in the season. Leicester City are still a very good team, but we're not gonna simply walk through every single game, and in games when we need a little injection in the second half, it looks like I am starting to become our super sub, coming off the bench with big expectations of being able to deliver something offensively. Now, even though I've been working hard, I'm still far from the fastest player out there, but that's not gonna stop me from chasing down every ball and working my absolute hardest. The biggest change I'm learning this season is simply how to play physical. I'm actually putting in tackles and working so hard to support my team. Even if that's never my main skill set, it doesn't mean I can't improve, and every little bit helps because just being able to find a bit of extra space on the pitch is helping me so much offensively as well, and I'm finally starting to shine more the way that I have at other clubs in the past. I'm creating good chances for our team, which is exactly what I was brought on to do, but as the game goes on, it's simply not falling for us, and on this occasion, despite my good impact, we actually lose our first game of the season. Leicester City need to be careful that we don't slip up now. I continue getting better and making cameos off the bench when my team is in need of a goal, and honestly, I'm finding a really good rhythm in this team. The more time goes on, the more I'm getting used to playing this way. Sometimes it just takes time to adjust, but it's also down to the hard work that I've been putting in all season to develop as a player, and only recently are we starting to see the kind of performances that I got signed for in the first place. But the unfortunate truth is I'm being called upon at a time when Leicester City are starting to slip up a bit. A loss and a draw in our last two games is the first time all season we've slipped up in back-to-back matches. But the good thing for me personally is I'm seeing so much development this year. I mean, sure, none of my physical stats are crazy, but it's so much better than I started the season with. I'm continuing to work hard on a daily basis, not only in training, but after training on my own. I'm the most fit I've ever been in my life, and it's showing as this is translating to my performances on the pitch. But my rise to success and Leicester City's fall from the top seem to be correlated right now as we lose our second match of the season against Bournemouth. Maybe it's a dip in form, or maybe teams are starting to figure us out, but whatever it is, it seems like there might need to be a shakeup in this squad because we cannot risk not going up to the Premier League next season, and it's starting to get a little close between us and the teams below us now. Now, I haven't started a game in months at this point, but I'm playing a big role off the bench, and in training, I'm getting better every passing week and potentially showing myself to be one of the better players in this team. The coach might have been too soon to rush me into the starting 11 for our first game, but now after weeks of consistent performances and a team in need of a shakeup, he's giving me my second chance in this team. I've just been named to the starting 11 for our next match. This is the first big test for Graham Potter here at Leicester City, as we're starting to have a big dip in form that could affect the course of our season. He's made some changes to the lineup, and let's hope that it pays off. And with me in midfield, it's my opportunity to drag this team back to winning ways as I win the ball back right away. Could I have an opportunity? A shot from distance. That was very, very close. It's crazy what a change I've gone through this season. My first bunch of games felt like I couldn't even get past a single player on the pitch. I felt suffocated, but now I'm feeling creative and free on the pitch, and it's letting me try the types of things that I've had success doing at other teams. The crazy long shots and little bits of flair that I love are only possible when I have the ability to actually find the space to pull them off, and finally, I'm doing that. It hasn't quite fallen for me just yet, but I've had a really good impression already in my first start in a long time here, and I'm not slowing down. I'm finding myself everywhere on the pitch, still working tirelessly to chase down balls, and again, I'm not the strongest or most aggressive player, but it's paying off. I'm winning the ball back and still finding myself some really good bits of play. And suddenly, it all just feels effortless. For a league that felt so overwhelming and foreign to me only a few months ago, I'm really feeling comfortable for the first time all season, and Leicester City are starting to finally see the best of Mason Turner. It hasn't quite panned out for me personally in this game with an assist or a goal, but that is not always what matters, as Leicester City overall get back to winning ways, and we're finally looking like the team that we started the season as. I played my role perfectly in this game, and that is just enough to win me a spot back in this team, as we're not going to shake anything up now that we're back to winning ways. I start the very next game, and hopefully I can make an even bigger impression. And as I continue to find space all around the pitch, even popping up on the wings, I'm creating so many opportunities for my team, and Leicester City definitely seem to be back to our best, and there's no doubting I've played a huge huge role in that. Despite some potential slip-ups, we remain in first place about halfway through the season, and finally, although it took a long time, I am now a starter in this team every single week, and really putting in great performances. The kind of flair that's been missing from my game this season is coming back now that I'm feeling confident in stringing some good games together. And the change that made all of this possible is simply my fitness. I'm still nowhere near the fastest player on the pitch, but my ability to run everywhere is opening up so many opportunities as I am finding my way past players, and then I can use my technical abilities to the fullest. Leicester City are looking good again, and it's largely thanks to me coming back into the team. I'm creating more chances than anybody else, and I'm looking very dangerous, and despite some potential slip-ups, we do remain top of the league. And over the course of several weeks, it's clear I'm here to stay in the starting 11. And now that this is my position to lose, I can't afford to have any slip up in form. But the thing is, the opposite is happening. I'm getting better with every passing game, and there's just no doubting the biggest change that's happened this season is my ability to get in the right positions. And it's paying off because I'm now leading the team in assists. In fact, after such a slow start to the season, 5 goals and 5 assists is not bad at all. For my first season here in England, I've managed to slowly become a much more well-rounded player this season. The physicality and pace that were really holding me back might not be strengths, but they're not as bad as they once were. I might not be the star player here the way I was at Schalke, but I am playing an important role in helping to keep us top of the table. And honestly, the more games I play, the more I start to look like the player that I was in Germany. The biggest difference this season is I'm actually surrounded by much better players than me. I'm in the best team in the league, arguably, and it's really helping because as I can pick out passes for teammates capable of finishing, it seems to be the perfect blend of skill sets. Leicester City are doing a fantastic job this year, and we're definitely on the way to promotion. But before next year's league campaign, there's a huge tournament coming. The World Cup is this summer, and although I've never had a call-up to the national team, there's rumors that I could potentially get named to the squad if I finish the season strong. My old friend Jalen Davis has become a star for the US after a good showing in the Copa America, so this could be my chance to reunite with him and maybe repair our friendship. So now I have to finish strong and try to get a call-up this summer. With 10 games remaining in the season and a big lead over some of the other teams, a win here against Middlesbrough could be all we need to secure a first place spot, assuming we don't slip up elsewhere. So not to be dramatic, but this is probably the biggest game of our season. A win here would mean so much, mostly for our promotion hopes. But now on top of that, I have a personal interest, and that's getting called up to the national team. If I can have a good performance in big games like this where I know everyone's watching, I think that would do a lot to see me potentially get a call-up. And I'm making a good bid for that already. Having a really solid performance here with my passing range and ability to create chances, I'm looking very dangerous so far, but with nothing to show for it yet, Leicester City are still looking to get in front. It's a shot from distance. I just haven't been able to find the back of the net. However, we've definitely been on the front foot, and with the kind of form that I've been in, I'm simply feeling so confident. In a league that felt so difficult early on, I'm suddenly feeling great, and a shot from distance caps that off. I've just made a huge impact in a top-of-the-table clash, and I'm proving to maybe be one of the best players in this Leicester City team that's heading to the Premier League next season. Now, this has been the season that I've seen the most change, and I've worked so hard to develop as a player. The countless hours I spent staying after training to work on my fitness and grow athletically have finally paid off as I'm looking like the player I've always been destined to be and becoming a breakout star in this Leicester City team. We're looking to go on with a win from this game, but my work here is not done as I run tirelessly, just like I have all season, looking for more opportunities. Disaster strikes. An old injury that plagued me 2 seasons ago at Schalke comes back. As my hamstring is injured, I am forced to come off the pitch at a pivotal moment for not only the game, but for our season. The hard work and potentially overtraining that I've been doing this season has come back to bite me. Aggravating a problem that kept me out at an important point for that season as well is now back, and I fear this could keep me out for a while. However, Leicester City still are a good team without me. Sure, I've been a good player, but there's no shortage of other talent in the team, and thankfully, they get by just fine without me, going on to confidently win this game and stay top of the league. Surely now, we're gonna win the title this season. But for me, it's the worst possible scenario. I've seriously injured my hamstring, and I'm gonna be out for months. That means I'll not only miss the rest of our season, but I'm surely ruled out for the summer and any potential call-up I would have had to the World Cup. And it's a huge shame because I ended up having a solid debut season here, 7 goals and 7 assists, and the truth is that I was only getting better as time went on, but now I have no idea what the future's gonna hold. Now, Leicester City did go on to win the league with a massive 106-point season, so despite the disappointing end for me personally, it was a great year overall, and for the first time in my career, I am able to celebrate winning a pretty significant trophy. And next season, this means I'm going to be in the Premier League. No matter the disappointment I'm facing this summer, that's a huge achievement, and now I'm gonna have the opportunity to play next season in the best league in the entire world. So I'm recovering over the summer as I watch the USA play in the World Cup, where Jalen Davis leads us to a good start, scoring in his first ever World Cup match. Now, we haven't talked in years, but I'm happy to see my old friend doing well, even if we did have a falling out. But as the US crashes out of the group stages following some heavy defeats, it's clear they still need some work. I'd love to be a part of the team someday and maybe reunite my friendship with Jalen Davis. But in the short term, I'm gonna be a Premier League player next season, and my story at the top is just getting started. And if you guys like this video, go check out my Patreon to help support the channel, download my Career Mode Challenges guide to spice up your own careers, and also download custom face and kit mods that I use in these videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.